Stop recording video button.
Hi guys, so I wanted to do this quick video for you guys explaining why I have 2 Twitter accounts. I know I haven't said anything about it on YouTube, or nothing has indicated to you guys that I have 2 Twitter accounts, but from now on when I post videos, I will be giving out 2 accounts. So I don't want to be, well, I mean, it's okay, but I don't want to leave you guys wondering. I don't want it to just like come at random where I'm giving 2 Twitter names and you guys are like, oh wait, I thought she only had 1 account. Why does she have 2? Did she create another one? What happened? So no, I wanted to, before you guys start seeing 2 Twitter names on my video instead of 1, I wanted to clear it up and explain to you guys why I have 2. Now, a side note is, since I can't edit videos, I will, right when I'm done with this video, I'm just going to go ahead and upload it. That's the good part about having, about not being able to edit videos. Well, I mean, yeah, it's better too, but I can't do that. I can't edit videos, so yeah, I don't have to wait a few days. Some YouTubers, you know, like, they'll film a video and then they won't post it right away. And then sometimes they won't post it until like 3 weeks later after they filmed it. So I'm not like that. But anyway, try not to go off topic too much. So, yeah. But yeah, you will not be seeing this in 3 weeks. I'm uploading it now. Let's see, today's the 22nd, almost the 23rd, or maybe the 23rd, I'm not sure. It's midnight yet, and you will see it within the next day or so. So yeah, because I'm just gonna, after I upload this, because usually what I'll do is I'll record the video and I'll upload this. Well, what I'll do is I'll record the video and then I'll close it on my camera on the phone, and then I won't upload it for like a few days, and then, but I left YouTube open because usually what I'll do is I'll be like, oh, next time I'm on YouTube, I'll just upload it, but I left YouTube open, so I'm just gonna, when I'm done with this video, I'm just gonna go to YouTube and upload this. Okay, so I didn't mean to go off topic, but I did want to add that part in. Because if any of you are new, you know that I can't edit videos. Well, now you know, but people who are not new already know that. So, alright. So anyway, I'm explaining to you guys why I have 2 Twitter's accounts. I know I haven't explained this to you, and a lot of times people on YouTube will explain things like this after the fact, but I want to do it before, so that way, like I said before, people, when I leave 2 Twitter accounts at the end of my video going forward, or in the description box when I have 2, you guys aren't like, oh, why does she have 2? I thought she only had 1. What happened? Okay, so I'm about to explain. Okay, so I've been on Twitter since September 15th of 2010. So, everything was good. My first username was ChrissyX3X. And then I changed my username to Glitter Chrissy, and then I changed it to MirrorMoon1296. And then my current username on that account is _AppleGirl22. So, basically what happened was, on this account, which was my
notification, Facebook, Sienna Trigiani replied to your comment on her post.
Well, basically what happened was on my first account, where I was, changing my username several times, the one that I got in September. Well, basically what I was doing was I like to retweet a lot. And it was a lot of spam. A lot of it was just like, sometimes there's just tweets that have like links in them that you like, because I follow a lot of things like the Fact Book and Trivia Hive and Interesting Facts and all these things they give facts and quotes. I follow all those different things. And some of these things have like links in them. Like, there's like, 5 different ways you can do this or something. And then there's a link. So every single time, like, this happened like a couple of years after, like a few years after I got my Twitter in like 2013. This happened. So every single tweet that wasn't from an actual person, that was from like one of those fact or quote things that I follow, every single tweet from them I would retweet. So within like an hour, I think I probably retweeted like over 200 tweets. And it was getting to the point where it was really annoying. People were seeing it. It was all over their timeline. It was flooding everybody's timelines. And everybody that followed me, it was to the point where for that like 2 hours or so that I was doing it, actually I think I was doing it for a few days, but like when I first started doing it, I was doing it for like 2 hours or so. And when I first started doing it, it was to the point where people, you couldn't, like, they didn't see any other tweets for like 2 hours. All they saw were tweets from me, which is pretty bad. They were not seeing tweets from their other followers. So in order to go past my tweets, they had to scroll through their timelines and find other people's tweets. And the thing is, a sighted person can just use a mouse and just scroll down. See, a lot of the times I follow people a lot of my followers are blind. So they have their Twitter clients, so they have to use their computers, keyboards, or their iPhones or whatever to swipe or just arrow past all of that. And it was just getting to the point where it was just like all you saw were my tweets on your timeline. Like you didn't see any of your other followers' tweets. So people were telling me to stop. They were like, "Oh, can you stop the spam now?" And then someone tweeted something about, "Oh, this is considered Twitter jail," and I would just like, every time somebody would reply asking me to stop, I would write, like, I was writing a ha 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 ha, like thinking it was funny. And I don't know, I'm sure people reported it because it was like this so much. It was like I probably retweeted over like 500 tweets within like 2 days. It's crazy. But yeah, so yeah, so I'm sure people reported it, and I'm sure the Twitter developers noticed it or saw it. So I think it was the next day, because I was doing it for 2 days. I think it's like, I mean, I do it a lot, but like, I didn't do it like that excessively. I mean, but the second day after, when I started like to really, really, really do it, was when I was like, okay, I was still doing it, and I went on Twitter, because there's like Twitter clients that you can use, so you don't have to use the website. They actually they depend on Twitter. They rely on Twitter, and you go, you set it up with your Twitter, you authorize it to work with your Twitter. Usually what you do is you get a URL and you get a PIN number, and you have to authorize the Twitter client to work with your Twitter. So So I was on the session. I was on this client. It was actually called The Cube. So basically what The Cube is, for those of you that don't know, is like I said, a Twitter client that it doesn't have a window. It just runs in the background, and it has buffers in each session. So each session is a Twitter. So let's say I have a Twitter, and then I have somebody else's Twitter on. It's like my Twitter and somebody else's Twitter can be a session. And like a home buffer is all like your tweets, all the tweets that you see from your friends, from you. That's a home buffer. And then the sent buffer is obviously, your sent tweets. And then you have, your direct messages, which is your private messages. Direct messages goes directly to the other person. And then you have your mentions, which people reply to you. That's where they go. And then you can add buffers like, your followers, your friends, which are the people that you follow, and somebody's individual timeline. If someone has like, you have favorites, like tweets that you favorited, there's different buffers you can add. So I know I went off topic with that, but I wanted to like explain to you guys what this was. what it was that I used, so that way when I explain to you how I figured out what happened, you guys will have a better understanding. So I went on the Cube and I realized that it wasn't updating my buffer. Well, the thing was, it was, and then I went away from the computer for like a few hours to eat dinner and go swimming, and I come back on the computer and my Twitter wasn't updating. And this Cube client makes a sound when your buffers update, and they update usually every 3 minutes, but you can change
Kingdoms
that.
Notification. Kingdoms. Your friend KARRIK87 just joined Trivia Crap Kingdoms.
Yeah, but you could change that, obviously. But yeah, so I was, like I said, I was eating dinner, I went swimming, come back on the computer to realize that my Cube client wasn't updating. So I thought, if you tweet too much, some of you probably know this, but you go on what's called status limit, where you, where if you tweet too much, you can't post statuses for a while. And I think that also goes for mentions and direct messages. I don't remember. I was on status limit once for tweeting stuff, just tweeting too much. But that wasn't what happened here. But yeah, before I was there was a time I was on status limit, and I don't remember, if it's just limited to tweets or everything. But yeah, so first I thought I was on status limit. And I was like, all right, this is really odd, because it wouldn't let me post a tweet. It wasn't updating, because I remember when I was on, because the thing that I thought about that was a real red flag was, I remember when I was on status limit, my Twitter was still updating. So I was like, okay, this is really strange. I can't just be on status limit. So then what I did was I went on to, I signed on to my account, my Twitter, on the computer. And I went in and, typed my username and password. I signed in, and it said that my account had been suspended. And, it was suspended for, I knew why. I mean, I knew what it said, because I was, this kept on mentioning, and this, I was basically the way they put it, I was sending, unsolicited mentions to people. And I don't really know what that means, but that's the way they worded it on Twitter when I went on the site. But yeah, basically, I was suspended for basically writing 600 retweets within 2 days. Because I was considered spam, because it was blowing up people's timelines. People couldn't, like I said before, people couldn't see any other tweets. So I'm sure people reported it, and I'm sure that the Twitter developers also saw it. So I'm sure it was a combination of both. So yeah, so basically that was what happened, and I knew, because I wasn't permanently banned. I was just suspended. So I was just suspended. And so what I did was, it said that in order to reactivate your account, I mean, I could have reactivated the same day, because basically what you have to do when your Twitter gets suspended, and this may help you guys too, if your Twitter does get suspended, or if you know somebody whose Twitter is suspended and you think that you can't get it back. Yes, you can. Well, that's as long as you're not banned permanently, which in this case, I was not banned permanently. I was just suspended, and I had to reactivate my account. So when your Twitter gets suspended and you have to reactivate your account, so basically what you have to do is there's a couple boxes you have to check. So it'll say I understand that I violated the the terms of service. I understand that if this happens again, I can get banned permanently. And there's also, I understand that I was misbehaving, and I will not let this behavior happen again, something like that. So there was at least, I don't know if it's 2 or 3, but there's at least 2 boxes that you have to check. So I had to check those boxes, and I did this the same day that I noticed my account was suspended. So this happened in 2013, August of 2013 this happened. So yeah, so so I did that. I checked those boxes. I checked those two boxes because you need to check those boxes. So I did that. And then there was a, I'm sure you guys know those dreaded CAPTCHAs that you have to solve. There was a CAPTCHA that I had to solve, and I can't read the CAPTCHA, so I had to click on to give an audio CAPTCHA, and it wasn't giving me an audio CAPTCHA. I would click on it and nothing would happen, so I just gave up. I was like, all right, I give up. I still want to be on Twitter. And so what I did was I created a new Twitter account, and I've been using the new one ever since, like to this day. I've been using that one, and for the past like 2 years, I was just using that one account. Now, the thing is, I always wanted to get my old Twitter back, and what was stopping me was the CAPTCHA. So, I remember I was talking to a friend, I think it was back in September. We were talking on FaceTime audio, and he said, because he said something to me, he's like, oh, yeah, I remember you had a different Twitter, and I was like, yeah, no, I made a new Twitter, it was suspended, and I want to get it back, and, he said, but I can't because of this CAPTCHA. And he said, oh, I could help you with that. I could help you get your old Twitter back. Because, I'm sure you want to get back on your old Twitter. I was like, yeah, of course. To see my other old followers and all that. So, he was actually, I'm sure he was, like, willing to help me with that. But we haven't really talked since then. And this person, we don't really talk all that much. We only talk maybe like once every 2 years. So like the last time we talked before September of 2015 was like August of 2013. So yeah, to give you guys an idea how much we talk. But yeah, so he offered to help me with that, but I guess I didn't really take the offer, and I was like, I guess maybe we'll see. And then we just haven't talked since then. So yeah, and I mean, nothing I can do about it now because I don't need his help because I got it back. But I was like, all right. So it was like this past week, I was thinking about it, and I was like, I want to get back on my old Twitter. I'll do whatever I have to do to get back on it. So even if I have to like take a picture of my computer screen, I was like determined. I was like determined to get back on it. So I was determined, and so what I did was I did the same thing. I signed in. I had to solve the CAPTCHA, and it said, okay, well, and then it's just the same thing. My Twitter was suspended, so I had to do what I had to do 2 years ago. I needed to check those boxes stating that I understood the terms of service. I understood that I could get suspended for good if I continue with this behavior. So if this behavior continues, I'd get suspended for good. So I checked those boxes, and then I got to the point where I had to put in that security code. Same thing happened. It didn't give me an audio, so I was like, all right, well, I saw it gave me the option to download the sound as an MP3. I wasn't sure how well that would work, but I figured I'd give it a try. Because, well, the thing is, I have an app on my phone. It's called the KNFB Reader app. So it will take a picture of, like, text. So before, like, giving up, I was like, all right, I'm going to try to take a picture of my computer screen and see if it'll read me the CAPTCHA. I mean, I didn't think it would because the CAPTCHA is in like another language that screen readers cannot read. They cannot understand it. They cannot read it. And I'm guessing, I'm not guessing, I know. I know that's the point because, if it was just standard text that anyone can understand, that a screen reader can read or can interpret, then a computer programmer can hack into it. So yeah, it's supposed to be in a language that is not understandable for screen readers. So yeah, I didn't think my phone was gonna was gonna get it, but I figured, no, I'll give it a once. Why not give it a try? And no, it didn't work. But like I said, I wanted to try it. So then I went on, because I use Google Chrome, and for some reason, when I try to download something, like if there's a file that I need to save or something, it will not download it. When I go to save it, it blocks it. I have no idea why. I had a technology instructor come to my house one day to work with me, and we tried to look at it, and we both, he was like doing everything. He went from like changing my security settings to nothing, and it still was doing that. So I don't know if that's like a feature with Google Chrome or if that's something with my computer. But yeah, so I had to go on Firefox because I don't really like Internet Explorer. It's really buggy and stuff. So I went on Firefox and I downloaded. So I went on I signed into my Twitter. I checked those boxes. And what I did, okay, I don't know how this happened, but I was going to go on my, I was going to go in and get the CAPTCHA again. And, I was going to go in and get the CAPTCHA again. And I clicked on, to get an audio of it. It was partially confusing. I don't even know how I did this, but I clicked on the audio, and it still did the same thing it did when I was on Chrome. It didn't read the audio, because I think back 2 years ago I was using Internet Explorer, so it wasn't reading it there either. But so the browser had nothing to do with it. So I went and I clicked on it, and it didn't do anything. So so what I did was, I don't know how I did this, because I was looking for like the button to do like the MP3, and then I was just gonna download it and then just play it and copy it, but and then hit confirm after checking those boxes, downloading the file, copying what I thought I heard, and and then confirming it, and then I'd have my other Twitter back. But what I did was I did this thing where what there is like a JAWS cursor. So it's kind of hard to explain because I use a screen reader called JAWS, and it's hard to explain, but what it does is it's a cursor that it will route JAWS directly to like the PC cursor. I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain what that does, so yeah. It's not that I'm not sharing, it's just that it's like I said, it's hard to explain what it does. So what I did was I enabled that, and then I clicked on something, and all of a sudden I was back on my old Twitter. I don't know how the hell that happened, but it did. Because I didn't even type in that code. I just clicked on it, and it just put it in, and I don't know if you have to do the CAPTCHA on a Mac. I don't think so. But don't quote me on that because I'm not sure. But because I know on the iPhone when you make accounts on stuff, you don't have to, but on the Mac I'm not sure. I'm not really sure if you have to do the CAPTCHA on a Mac. I mean, you probably do. I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't. But yeah. So now, ever since I've been back on my old Twitter, and I've been tweeting on it. So that's basically the story as to why I have 2 Twitter accounts. So yeah, I was basically just sending a whole bunch of retweets, flooding people's timelines, spamming people to the point where they couldn't see their other friends' tweets, and it was getting out of hand, and I'm sure people reported me for it, and Twitter developers saw it, and my account suspended. So I only got it back I only reactivated it 3 days ago. So so basically my Twitter accounts are the underline AppleGirl22, and my new Twitter that I've been using for the last 2 years is the AppleGirl22. So it's minus the underscore. So that's the way you can remember it is what I might do is I'll just say, okay, this is my Twitter name, it's the AppleGirl22, and my other Twitter name is the same thing with an underscore between the and Apple. So just to make it easier. So if you want to tweet me, and like I said, it doesn't matter which Twitter you tweet me at or follow me on. I mean, if you want to follow me on both, have at it. If you want to follow me on one, that's okay too, and I will follow back. Okay, I have no problem with that. I will follow back, because I know a lot of YouTubers don't follow back, and I guess I can understand why, because it's kind of like, because they have family or whatever that watches their videos, and they don't want to see all, like, because they have like 5,000 people following them. Like, the thing is, they might not be able to see all those tweets. So I can understand why a lot of YouTubers don't follow back, but if you follow me back, I will follow back. It doesn't matter which Twitter you use. If you want to tweet me, if you want to mention me, you can't direct message me unless we're following each other, but a lot of you know that, which makes sense because direct messaging is supposed to be private. And if you're not following the other person, they're not going to get it, because it's obviously not going to go out publicly. So, yeah. So, so that's why, you have to be following somebody in order to direct message them. And I was like, oh, I was wondering why. But then I thought about it, and I was like, okay, well, now I know why. So, I'm going to, so yeah. So like I said, my Twitters, so if you want to tweet me at my old Twitter, my first, well, you know what, because I have them both now, so my first Twitter and my second Twitter, I'm going to call them. So my first Twitter, if you want to tweet me on my first Twitter, you just put in the underline AppleGirl22, and no, it's not case sensitive, so with usernames, it doesn't matter if you capitalize or not. And then if you want to tweet me at my second Twitter, it's the AppleGirl22 without the underline. So that's like a very good way to remember it, because my usernames on both accounts are the same except for an underline. So like if you want my new Twitter, just take away the underline, and if you want my first Twitter, just add the underline between the words the and Apple. So that's a really good way to remember it. So yeah, so I'm gonna go upload this. I can't edit, so I'm just gonna upload, and comment, like, subscribe, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. If you didn't like it, I won't be offended. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, go ahead. So the AppleGirl22 or the underline AppleGirl22. Like I said, it doesn't matter which. Just feel free to follow me on Twitter. Like I said, I don't accept people on Facebook. Like I said, in the future, I might make a fan page for you guys to follow. But I don't really. I only have 2 subscribers, and I don't think it's really necessary right now, because I would only have I wouldn't have any fans. So yeah. So I'm gonna go for right now, and I will see you guys in my next video. All right, bye guys.